All right, welcome to the stream, guys. I can see Mohammed is already here. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that. And yes, I'll do Cardano. Definitely do some Cardano for you. Not an issue. So let's go straight into what we see. Let's see how everything is working. So for me, it's the morning. I've had a long night yesterday. Very, very long night. So yeah, it's been an crazy, crazy night. That's all I can say, right? Obviously yesterday all the dump and everything that happened, I think it kind of shook the market a little bit. But ultimately, let's see what happens. And let me just try and fix this thing because I'm having that CPU issue all over again. So I have no idea why I have this CPU issue. So, right, let's get into this. So I've got my coffee. Let's see how everything works out. Just give it a minute or two for everybody to join. And then we go from there. So let's see what's going on. Let me see the chats. Let's see who's on the chats. So I can see Mohammed's on the chats. Let's have a look. Damn, so many people. Hey bro, it is afternoon, but for me it's the morning, bro. I'll be honest with you, it's the morning for me. Hey Tanweed, how you doing, bro? Don't worry too much, bro. Exactly, expect a pump after a dump. And you like my little bot, right? It says be awesome, smash the like button and subscribe if you already haven't done so. It's supposed to be done so, it says do so. But yeah, I'll correct that. But it's awesome. Let's go for this, right? This is insane. So let's do this. Right, let's get into this. Let's have a look. Right, so now I can monitor the chat, so I'm grateful for that. Also, I've got a bot to remind you guys to make sure to hit that like button, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. The bot's going to basically come in and talk to you every other few minutes. So yeah, that's what we've done. Connected the Discord board to the thing. Also, I don't know if you notice on the top left corner, can you hear that I'm speaking? That's not me speaking on YouTube. That's actually me speaking on Discord. So remember, we did the test yesterday. So I'm sure KR knows about this. We did a nice little test yesterday. And you can actually join the YouTube live chat section. You can see that there's a YouTube live just underneath the main chat on Discord. So I'll just show you this quickly. So if you look carefully, just here, you can see this, and one other person can join me if they want to. That's not an issue, and you can come and ask me questions live. So I've kept this there, and I don't know if you can realize this. I'm sure this is a kind of an indication to what's about to happen in the very near future. So I've also got this one set up as well, which says infinite amount of people can join this. Not an issue. So it's going to be some crazy stuff that I'm going to be doing. So, and we're going to do it live. This is the thing, right? When I do this, we're going to be doing it live as well. So that's going to be insane, right? Where you can actually ask me questions once I give you the schooling, right? It's going to be free school. So that's something we're going to do. Let's see how this works out. So yeah, that will be very, very nuts. I think very, very nuts. But yeah, you can actually now hear the audio coming direct from Discord into the thing, and you can see every time I'm talking it will flash my name, or whoever's speaking, it will flash the speaker's name on the left corner. So that's pretty good, pretty cool feature. So I've been doing a little bit of work last night. I was working until about 5-6 in the morning. Actually there's another member on our Discord group as well, Matt, from Matt's Market. So I was on his stream as well for a little while, checked him out. Awesome dude, and we are going to do a collab very soon as well, so make sure to go and check him out. That would be really nice. So yeah, let's move into the market. If you have any questions, guys, fire away, and let's get into this. So BTC dumps yesterday, happy days, and I'm watching there, I'm sitting there and I'm watching all of this happen. No joke, I'm just watching there. I'm just like, okay, it's happening, right? It's all happening. We open up another candle and we have another low, and we start dumping even further. And I'm like, what is it that we can do right now? Do I sell or do I get out? What do I do? am I still okay to stay in there, or shall I get out? You know what I mean? So I'm looking around for data points, and if they shared a very nice message on WhatsApp actually, and exactly what I was going to talk about. So past few days, or few weeks, I've been constantly showing you some data points, right? Where is it? So these data points I've been showing you how there wasn't the exchange reserve was coming down. Basically, BTC was leaving the exchange, right? Well, yesterday during this dump, we saw even more leaving the exchange, which is unbelievable to see. Except I'm going to say something different compared to what you saw on WhatsApp, right? This is insanity. So, of course, what he said in WhatsApp is true. His what Guy said was absolutely true. That yes, the exchanges didn't really have much what do you call this, many Bitcoin in the reserve. We did see a little bit of coming back in. That was probably, as he's mentioned, buy the rumor, sell the news. So here during that time, people were buying the rumor, getting ready to sell the news, which is absolutely fine. There was some sell-off. You can see here, if you look carefully, you can see, if we zoom into this, you can see that there was some sell-off, right? And we were looking at this and we were saying, okay, that's fine. But what we were also looking at is how the exchange reserves were coming down. So we knew that when the exchange reserves, when money goes back into exchange, it's getting ready to be sold. So we knew this, unfortunately, from the August 28th. So we can see this from August 28th. And the way they played it, so this was pure manipulation, right? The way they played it over a longer period of time. So rather than doing it over a single day or something like this, they made sure that they were pre-prepared for all of this, because it doesn't make a difference if you put your BTC on an exchange. You can carry on and sell it later on, right? So that's what they've done. They were preparing for this. And then came that moment where they started taking the Bitcoin out. Now, when the Bitcoin started to leave, right, when these Bitcoins started to leave, the situation that we ended up having was, first of all, leverage traders locked their Bitcoin as a bet in order to get more leverage. So that was already locked. That's illiquid Bitcoin. Means, unless you win, you don't get anything. And also, whenever you do leverage, when you're borrowing on a leverage platform, somebody else is lending you their Bitcoin. So those Bitcoin are also illiquid. So we have this massive surge of illiquid Bitcoin, right? Everything is illiquid, right? So nothing is, available anymore. So we have this massive squeeze, right? Where the buyers can't come in fast enough and buy because there's nobody selling. And the liquidation event happens, which is bots, literally just bots, right? Come in and just wipe everybody out because they're automatically selling those orders, because you can't maintain it. Unless you top up more Bitcoin, you're going to get wrecked. So what it done was basically the bots came in and just said, sell off, because we can't afford this, keep on selling off. And that's what happened, and it ended up basically just wiping out the whole market. So massive liquidation event, 100% liquidation event, looking at the market. I was looking at Ethereum. I can see Ethereum started to come in as well. So you can see this is an indicator, Ethereum coming in. I've been talking about this for a few days now, actually. So this is what was going on. Also, I looked at GBTC, and I can see GBTC premium started to go down again. And when the premium goes down, that means basically it's bearish. They want to sell more. They're not selling enough. So all of this was happening at the same time, and it's just one of those kind of things, like, it's an event. Technically, you can call it a black swan event. And coincidentally, like, not coincidentally, but funnily, I'll be honest with you, I have talked about it. You know about it. Last few days, we have talked about it. We have talked about the 12th of September. So we can expect a dump around the 12th of September. And that's going to pick up on Cardano as well. So give me a second. I'll get to Cardano for a bit. 12th of September is the Cardano launch, right, of the mainnet, main smart contract. And basically, that's what we were expecting to see. Cardano come in, and a lot of people probably buy the news and sell the, buy the rumor, sell the news, right? That was what we were expecting for Cardano, all right? But it ended up happening for El Salvador. Okay, but I think El Salvador, what Nayib Bukele did, that was really awesome, right? So Nayib Bukele, he went on Twitter and he posted something, right? Literally pretty much an FU to everybody, especially the IMF. I mean, that was just hilarious just looking at this, right? When you read this, right, and I'll show you this, give me a second. So when you're looking at this, you can see it was literally an FU. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of those, right? So he's basically tweeted it on his personal Twitter account, and he said, thank you, IMF, for giving us the opportunity to buy another 150 more. So as a country, they own not much, but 550 Bitcoin is a lot of Bitcoin. They own that now, because of just a few days ago, he bought another 200, which is awesome to see. And amongst all these bearish news and all these crazy stuff and all the dump, I know his people, so his country, the people in his country, his voters, they are the one who are being shaken up by all of this. But actually, what I looked at was, this was a great opportunity, because if this was a dip and he just bought the dip and he hasn't given them the $30, then it's not a bad deal. And of course, if someone bought $30, how much would have they really lost? Maybe about $5. But if he's going to be topping their accounts up for free like he did last time, I don't see a problem in this. Do you know what I mean? So that's the kind of a thing I looked at. I'm being positive, ultra positive here. So looking at all of this data again, like, we're going back into this, right? Seeing how the money's leaving the exchanges. Well, that also causes one other problem. So we had a squeeze of supply, means there is illiquid supply on exchanges that cannot be bought or sold because it's locked, right? But then there's another problem this creates, that was for regarding the longs and the shorts, right? The leverage traders. But the entire market that wants to buy a dip can't buy a dip. And what I mean by that can be actually demonstrated here. And I'll show you this. You're going to laugh your head off. Pretty much a lot of the major exchanges during this liquidation event. So I think this one, no, it's not this one. Let me check where it is. Oh, there it is. So during the liquidation event, right, major exchanges, the API went down, the systems went down, exchanges just completely just went offline, right? They went offline. Look at this. This was an offline. This exchange, this was Binance. Binance was offline during this particular major event. Do you see what I mean? Binance was actually offline during this whole time. So even if you wanted to, you can't buy anything. They couldn't do it. They couldn't handle it. The amount of orders that were coming in, they couldn't handle it. The system glitched out. Do you know what I mean? And this kind of relates to, remember a few days ago, I said to you guys, if you have 100 different altcoins, are you going to be able to sell them on time? So I hope this kind of makes sense when I'm telling you to prepare, right? When I've been telling everyone for the past few weeks to, God knows how long, right? I've been telling everyone, guys, be prepared. And this is one of the reasons why I've basically, as I said to you guys, I've offloaded all my altcoins. Pretty much all of them. I've got about 25 altcoins that I'm holding right now, and even them I'm going to get rid of. By the end of the season, I'm only going to be holding maximum 10 because it's manageable. You know what I mean? It's manageable. So that was the whole idea behind all of this, right? So, for me to get into this and try and get rid of as many altcoins as possible, because if an event like this comes, and for me, I'm not even expecting this event here. I'm actually, I was expecting the event more towards this $58,000 level. From here, I was expecting a massive 30% correction. Good news on all of this is that we didn't get a 30%. What did we get? Well, we can measure it, right? So this is what we actually got, right? We got a 20%. So is it okay? It's okay. It's not the 30% that I was afraid of. It's a 20% event. You know what? It doesn't matter. But the bulls brought it back up again, took the market back up, and currently, so when we look at the facts, the fact is we're actually 12.5% below where we were. So it's okay. Do you know what I mean? It's okay. So technically, when we use the body as a fact, we can say that it's only a 12.5% correction or 13% correction. So not fussed about that. Not the biggest one we've ever seen compared to some of the other ones we've seen. I mean, we have seen some massive corrections. For example, here we had one, which was a massive correction, right? If you do the measurement on this one, you can see what I mean, right? So we went all the way down here to here, which was a 15% correction, right? So compared to this current one, it's a 15% one in May, right? And then if you look closely at this particular one here, for example, where is it? Yeah, this one here. If you look at this particular one here, I mean, this was a ridiculous one. Look at this. It was a 40% correction in a single day. So compared to all of this, this was nothing. This was just a blip in the system. Absolutely fine. Nothing much to worry about, in my opinion. This is no financial advice, obviously. So that's the kind of thing I'm seeing, and that makes me more bullish. But also, I kind of mentioned something on a private group, and I said, look, if you observe this one candle, which was on the 12th of March, and if you observe the volume that entered, this was 100% dump. This was a proper black swan event. Market was dumping like hell. You can see this here. And then the next candle you see, right, is this candle here, this attempt, right? This 100% attempt here, but you can see the volume here was higher than this volume. That was good enough. It wasn't as long, but you can see it's a short one, but the volume was just a lot more better. And that's what we need to look out for now. So what we need to do is now move back in time and say, right, okay, let's come back to where we were, where we had these last event, right? So the last event we had was down here. What did we see here regarding the volume? So this particular candle here, what did we see here, right? We want to see how this candle reacted for us, right? And kind of use this data to kind of judge what the market's going to do. So we can see that we had this candle here. Actually, the volume was low compared to that March dump. So it wasn't as bad, and I don't think anyone actually even took that any notice, because the following candle the volume was high, but unfortunately it was the trend. We broke that trend. You see this line here, the moment we broke this line here, we went down. And this is why necklines are very, very important, and this is some of the stuff that I'm going to be teaching in the school that I'm going to be launching very soon. Probably do like 10 lessons and get everybody to come and join in, and you can ask me questions and that. It'll be something insane. I've thought about it because this kind of leads to what Chris asked me. He said, look, make some sort of a video where people ask. And I thought, okay, I can make a video, but and then just put my views there. But what if you have questions? Then I'm going to have to go back and answer them. And I'm thinking, well, why not have you on the show and have you ask me the questions there and there after I do the course, right? So this is going to be a 100% free course for everybody. I'm going to do 10 lessons probably and see what happens. Hi Mark, sorry Mac, how you doing, bro? You all right? Yeah, nice to see you on the chat. Absolutely, bro. History repeats. Now, Sol FTF was strong, but guess who actually trumped everybody today? You're going to be shocked to see this one, because I'm quite glad that I didn't sell my algo. Algo trumped everybody today. Let me go into this. Right, I mean, Nia done a 50% pump today. Currently, it's now correcting again. But Algo is just constant. Algo hasn't stopped. So that's been an awesome thing, because what I was doing was I was actually kind of looking at the market and seeing who's been doing well and who's been doing what. Obviously, forget the USDTs, right? And I'm just going down and I see this and I'm like, wow, okay, this is awesome. You know, when you're looking at this price here, this is awesome. And you can see this was today's high, which is only, 9 cents away from where we are. It's doing awesome. And then I was looking near protocol and I saw near protocol did this and came down here, which is absolutely fine. Do you know what I mean? So some of these protocols are doing very, very well compared to the others. But again, that's all an indicator telling us the market's not over. Right? The market's not over. So ultimately, you know, and IOST has been pumping. A lot of news has been coming along. I'm actually on their Discord group, so I do see a lot of pump news and this and that. And they've just launched some sort of a staking or reward program or something like this. I don't really interact with any of those. I just keep up with the news basically. And yeah, I mean, they got some breaking news, so that's what's happening too. So yeah, I mean, this is what it is. It's like some of these coins, they will surprise you, but ultimately it's not all of them. This is what you have to understand, bro. I'm looking at the top 50. If I go into the top 100, forget the USDT is obviously going to overpower because more people are sitting on USDT. Last night, while I was observing the whale alert, right, and doing a bit of Glassnode as well, all I can see is how the USDT just pumped, right? And that's because all of the money that was taken out of crypto was put back into USDT and people are just waiting. Question is, what are they waiting for? That's what I'm looking for, right? So yeah, you can see even on the top 200, you can see this comes up. So compared to the volume, right? So here I'm measuring the 200 gainers plus the volume, top 200 plus the volume. That's what I'm doing. So where's the positive energy going in? And you can see that positive energy coming here. For example, when I look at this and I do top 200 losers, well, this is where the energy is coming out of. You see what I mean? You can see where the most of the money is coming out of. So FTM did awesome last night, right? But look what FTM is doing now. So all the profit from here is leaving. All the profit from here is leaving. So that's what's happening. I mean, these are not profit. This is actually just suffering. But this profit that was made yesterday, profit taking is happening right now. So when we zoom into all of this and we keep on zooming in, we can see where the money's moving out of. So this is where the money is moving out of. When we go to top 50, we can see, look, I mean, Tomo chain was doing fantastic yesterday. Sorry, day before yesterday, Tomo was doing fantastic. I was actually going to talk about it. I forgot about it because I do hold a bit of Tomo since it was like pennies and Tomo's doing awesome. But this is what you can see. The most of the money has been leaving this one protocol. You see, top 50, it's been leaving from here. And the money's now been moving into these two. You see what I mean? So when you look at the top 50, you can see this, right? So that's what's going on. You can easily see where the money's going in and where the money's going out of, and what's happening there. So we can expect these coins to basically start dumping very soon. So I'll tell you what I'm doing. So my strategy for this particular situation right now, algo, pumped, great. So let's go into a chart. Yeah, we don't need none of that. Let's go into a chart. Let's do algo. I'm coming to ADA, bro. I'm going to come to ADA. Give me a second. I'm going to come to ADA. I haven't forgotten you, so just be patient with me, right? So this is what happened. While the market dumped, algo started to pump. Algo, as you can see, got rejected, right? And when we look at the, let's have a look at the fibs, right, to see if the fibs tell us anything right now. And this is really beautiful, right? So we can use either one of this data. We can use this data, or we can, so that we can use this bottom here, or even if we use any one of these bottoms, this bottom or even that bottom, it doesn't matter which one you use. So ultimately, let's just use the longer time frame. So if we use this, we can see that we got rejected just close to the 1618, which is exactly what it's supposed to do, right? And the best part about all of this is this area here. Let me just show you, right? You got rejected just pennies, right, cents before the all-time high. Has it got a chance to pump even more? Absolutely. But am I going to take that risk? No. What I'm going to do is my algo holding, I'm going to take some chips off the table right now. Because of how volatile the market is, I'm not going to rely on one or two coins to actually make the difference for me. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take half my chips off the table and stash that back into USDT. Because if you remember yesterday during the pump, I went ballistic, I went crazy, and I pumped everything into BTC. So when I did that, basically I don't have any more liquid cash. So what do I need now? I need more USDT. So what am I going to do? I'm going to use my algo benefits, right, to basically get out and have some more USDT on hand, just in case something is supposed to happen. So this was not a plan to hedge or anything like that, but just by seeing what it's done. And I did buy algo back here somewhere, I can't remember. So for me, end of the day, I know I'm in a significant gain right now. I know we're going to get rejected around here. We might battle around here a few days, not a harm. I'll take my cash and wait and see what the market does, because after a pump there's always a dump, right? So we know this, so I might as well. So regardless what happens after the show, I'm going to basically go, as long as I'm about this candle here, I'm fine. I'm going to take half the chips off. Yes, all exchanges were down. Exchanges couldn't handle the amount of orders that were going in. Bulls were out there, I'm not joking. Bulls went on the exchanges and they went ballistic, to the point where I've even had some people literally call me and like, bro, I can't get the coins on an exchange. Do you know anyone who's going to give it to me for cash? People were sitting there with hundreds of thousands of pounds of cash. Last night this was happening, right? They're like, look, we've got the cash, we'll give it to you. And I'm like, well, no, nobody's going to accept cash. And they're like, well, it doesn't matter, we need it ASAP, you know? So I did try to contact a few of my contacts, but they didn't pick up. So sadly, I think they were busy as well, probably having the same situation, right? And they do cash sales. So each to their own, you know, but I don't really get involved. I'm like, look, bro, if you got it in the bank, then yeah, maybe we can do this. But again, this is the whole reason why I'm always prepared. I always keep currency, especially USDT or USDC, in the exchanges. I always keep a certain amount as liquid cash. That's what I call liquid cash. It's not the money in my bank, it's the money in the exchange. It's liquid cash. That means whenever I see some sort of a trouble, I'm going to go in and instantly basically just buy out or sell out, do whatever I have to. Do you know what I mean? So it's always be prepared. That's the whole idea. So that's what I'm going to do with my algo. So, you know, I'm going to take some off the chips, some chips off the table, basically. NIA, unfortunately, there's nothing I could do, because NIA I already got rid of some time back. And it's regretful, because I got rid of NIA around $6. So yeah, I mean, if I helped, then I would have had this nice little pump, which is awesome. I mean, pretty much it went from $6 to this as well. So NIA is one of them that I did get rid of. I'm not proud of myself, but you know what? Even then, it was okay, because NIA I picked up around when it was around $2. So ultimately, you know, not that fast, right? So that's NIA, algo. Let's go into Cardano. I know everyone's talking about Cardano, But I think, I mean, there's two scenarios on Cardano right now. Let's use this data, right? Two specific scenarios on Cardano. All right, Tanvir, which one did you sell, bro? Which one did you sell? Let's find out which one you sold, right? It happens. Don't worry, it happens. Cardano. Look, Cardano's just followed the market. Literally just followed the market. I mean, Cardano dump did start slightly before everybody else because of all the FUD, but it's just followed the market, right? So ultimately, if you look at this, and I'm just going to zoom into this, the Cardano dip, the Cardano bulls didn't want it to go below the 618. Look at this correction. They didn't want it to go below the 618. So, which is actually awesome because you can see this support line here, and which is giving us confirmation that they want to hold it above this, right? Which was perfect. And then it's following the market right now. So entire market, you can see globally, the entire market is reacting same, right? Everybody's red, everybody's bloody. So when you have that situation, in fact, I can actually show it here. If I change this and if I do all, then it will show everything. You can see here, bigger picture. The entire global market is suffering right now. I mean, there's only two small caps that I can see have been pumping. And what is that? I have no idea. There's something tiny sitting in there. Let's have a look. Let's zoom into this and see if we can even see this. Okay, there's a coin called Cero. So yeah, that's been pumping 7%. What is that? TNT or INT something? I don't know what that is, but that's been pumping a little bit. But you can see these little miniature caps, right? Miniature caps. These ones that vanish into nothing, right? Into nowhere. So those ones have been pumping, some of them, but most of them you can see are to do with the USDT and everything. So yeah, I mean, ultimately, I wouldn't bother. Again, remember the other day I mentioned something. If Cardano decides to dump, and as long as it doesn't dump too far, right? So, we've got necklines that we need to worry about. For example, market for Cardano would be total annihilation if we go to this level, which is pretty close to this, right? So if you look at this, the $1.84, right? So $1.84, just to be kind, I'll call it $2. If we fall below $2, I will sell, wait for a dip, pick it up again. Do you know what I mean? But right now, I'm still going to hold strong because I feel the market still got a room to grow. Okay, so I would hold strong because remember one of the things, guys. Let's come into this. Actually, let's take all of this off. Let's take yeah. Let's use this and let's get rid of this. We don't need this for now. And let's get the thing because I don't save this because I don't use it all the time. I just use it for whenever I need to double check something, right? Right, so let's go into this. I'll show you this, right? So remember I was talking about this Hull moving average, right? And I talked about how it's not easy getting above this line. This is a 2-year moving average line. It's not simple. It's not easy. If you think that it's going to be happening on a blink, it's not going to happen. Do you know what I mean? So when you have a situation like this, you've got to be observant and say, okay, this is what the scenario is. And currently, as you can see, this 50-week moving average is holding at 36, which is awesome, which is actually quite cool, because we do have this lovely little range here. You can see this little range here that we have. As long as we can hold support on this range, we're fine. So we've got this range between, actually, let me get the facts. Here we go. So we've got this range between this 39,000 and this 31,000 actually. So there's a little range here that we need to hold, but ultimately we do have this moving average line that we have to hold. If we fall below this line, then we're bearish. Do you know what I mean? Then I'm going to say, okay, guys, just, get your popcorns and get ready for a most boring show ever because it's going to last for a long time. Do you know what I mean? Because this could easily be that scenario that we were talking about, right? Where we did this, we came back and we did this. For example, in 2013, where we dumped and we came back and we did this, but we couldn't succeed. You see what I mean? You come back and you do these power moves. You try to get above, but you never manage to get above. And you come down. This is what I was afraid. This is what I've been hedging myself. This is why I've been cashing out of all my alts, right? Regardless how much some influencer or somebody says, oh, it's going to pump, we're going to do 100x. I'm like, no, guys, keep your head on. Keep your head on. Just because the market's moving or it's starting to become bullish, I'm not going to do this. XCC, hey Tamil, how you doing, bro? I'll check it out. No worries, man. Give me a second. I'll check it out. So ultimately, for me, this was the indicator that says, look, we're going to struggle. And I've shown you this before as well, right? Every time we fall below, we stay below. When we try to get up, it's hard. It's not easy. And I'm worried that we might see this pattern play out. You see this pattern here. this is exactly the same as what's happening right now. We're technically on this particular candle right now. So this could easily bring us down. And if it does, you can see how long we were there, right? So when we measure this, if you measure this from this particular candle to where we finally broke out, right? And all we're doing is just measuring the week 50 bars. That was almost close to a year before we broke out. So the question is, are we prepared to do this, right? You know what I mean? So this is one of the things you have to understand. We're too close to this bar. We need to get above this bar, and then we'll be fine. So if you look carefully, right, 2017, pretty much the same things, but 2017 was different, so I'm not going to even look at 2017, right? This is more closer to 2013. Look at this, 2013. It's kind of history kind of showing that, look, you know, I do rhyme. I might not do the same thing, because one of the things you have to understand, SM, I'll talk about it, bro. Give me a second, yeah? Nice to see you on the chat as well. One of the things we need to understand, right, is human behavior. We've been around for thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years, probably even millions of years. I'm not going to even go down that route, right? But the point is, right, we've been around for a very long time. And one thing that has not changed is human behavior. It doesn't matter how educated you are. It doesn't matter how much we've progressed. Human behavior does not change. We are so repetitive. We do the same thing. You wake up, you do the same things. Like me, literally, I just woke up, I had my coffee, and I'm on a stream. And that's pretty much what I've been doing for the last month. That's my new behavior. But only the difference is I'm conscious about it. I know I'm doing it consciously. Yes, bro, I'll talk about ZEC as well. Give me a second. Yeah, we'll talk about it, no worries. So that's the scenario. Do you understand? So we don't change our behavior. We don't change anything. And ultimately, you know, we're going to repeat ourselves every single time, right? And we do a lot of the same stuff. Even when we were kids, we will have certain traits and we'll follow those things, right? And one other main factor that we have is most human beings on the planet are followers. So you have two types of people. Some are leaders and others are followers, right? And what you find is there are very few leaders and a lot of actual followers. So people normally react to, you know, if they follow someone, they will react to their sentiment and their feeling. They don't really have their own. They will follow the leader, right? That's the problem. So when you have situations like this, you know, people hype into stuff, and when the hype is too high, that's when we should be afraid. And this is exactly what happens, right? So I'm being very cautious. Everyone on this channel, I've been telling you guys, whether you listen to me or not, it's up to you. I'm not your financial advisor, but I have been telling you, warning you for so long. Since around here, we've been warning you and saying, guys, look, it's not over, right? Anything before this 58 could reverse and dump us down. So all of this could be a fake out up to the 58. I have talked about this. What I didn't expect was this to happen here. I was expecting a nice little pump to push us above. But saying that, all right, the only problem I see, okay, let me explain to you and you'll understand what's going on. So currently where we are, you see this candle here. Can I take it off? No, I can't. So this candle here, I don't know if you can see this properly. This is a bearish engulfing candle, right? I'll have a look at Sovereign, bro. Is it on the coin market cap? Because remember, I have a rule on this channel. I don't talk about new projects that are due to launch or anything like that. I only talk about projects if it is on the coin market cap. That's my number one rule. I'm not here to show other projects or new projects or anything, because I don't want to get people wrecked into high risk projects. You know, everything on Uniswap is pretty much that launches is high risk. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to show it on the video, but if it is on the coin market cap, I will happily show it. That's not an issue, right? So let's do this. Let's go back in there. Yes, okay, awesome. Druvit, awesome. Thank you very much, bro. Definitely check that out. So what I'm saying is, you've got this bearish engulfing candle. This candle has engulfed this whole candle, right? Now what we need to see is this candle turn into a dragonfly or turn into a hammer, right? If either one of these situations, this happens within the next 4 or 5 days or 6 days, right? We've got how many days? We've got 4 days and 11 hours, so 4.5 days, right? If this can flip over and bring this red body back up above here somewhere and become a dragonfly, that is the most bullish thing you're going to ever see. I mean, if we see this, then we can expect BTC right? BTC to basically shoot far more than 100k that we were expecting. It wasn't going to be easy, but we can see far more than 100k, right? That's what we're looking for. So, you know, you don't see them quite often. So the pattern we're looking for is something very similar like this. When we see something, even on a red candle, when we see something like this is the kind of a pattern we want to see. This is the one that takes us, you know, pushes us up, propels us. That's what we need, you know. So that's the kind of candles we're looking for. We didn't see any of them here, right? But if you look here, that's when we saw it. And when was this candle? If you look carefully, zoom back out a little bit, you can see these candles were actually just above the break point of the previous 2019 high. I will have a read at the chats, guys. So yeah, I mean, just keep it a bit slow. I'll catch up with you. Let's keep on to the subject right now. So this is what I've got, and this is what I'm expecting. So this 2-year 104-week moving average HMA line is going to be a very tough cookie to break. You know what I mean? It's not going to be easy. And if we did fail and we come back to these zones here, we should be worried. So the 44k, currently 44,800 is a critical line for us. Actually, no, it's not 44. What am I saying? Let me just check it this way. It's 39,200 and 36. Just call it 39k and 36k. Let's just call it like that. That would be our critical lines, point of no return, right? So if we fall, we can stick around for a very long time. You know, we don't want that. We don't want a 50-week and the HMA to 104-week crossover. We don't want that, because that's another death cross for us. We don't want a death cross. Do you know what I mean? So let's see what happens. It's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy. But if we move into the daily, and let me just get rid of the HMA. Sorry. On the daily, one thing I am quite happy with, all right, and it's a tough one, right? Happy and sad at the same time. I mean, the bears managed to take it below the 200-day moving average. That was really, really bad. That wasn't easy at all, right? To see that, trust me, it wasn't easy. As much as I want to support this line, this was not easy, coming below the 200-day moving average. But so far, the bulls have managed to keep it there. So far, the exchanges are back online. Some of the exchanges, are still kind of having problem. Let me just take a sip on the coffee. Right. So far, they are definitely holding the line, which is good. But one thing that made me happy was this 50-day moving average. My God, if we had a body below this, that was it. That was the point of like, okay, that's it, guys. We're going to go back down again, right? Because these averages are also very, very important, right? Of course, they're over a very long time. And I always say this, every day is another average, right? Every day is another 50-day. Every day is another 200-day. But it's very important because of human nature, human psychology. We see these things and we react to these things, right? So it's very important, right? And when we're looking at a downward trend, right, this becomes our neckline. You see, this becomes our neckline. So again, we have full confirmation that this is our neckline. You see here, right? Look at this. This is our neckline. We cannot break this neckline. If we break this neckline, then we're going down. Do you see what I mean? Because remember, when we look at patterns, right, and I'll draw this here for you, right? Anytime we do patterns, let me just put this coffee away. Anytime we do patterns moving up, this is our neckline. Anytime we've got patterns coming down, this is our neckline. You see what I mean? So we don't want to break the neckline. Whatever happens, we never, we should always control that neckline. And so far, right now, this is the only last point of control. If we break down, then we start going into a lower trend. So one good thing I can tell you out of all of this, our trend line that we have, right? For example, this trend line here, right? Yes, we broke it, but we're still trending up. So this is, from a technical point of view, this is still a technical trending up. Why? It's very simple, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Let me put another trend line here. This is a higher low compared to this low, so we're still fine. Remember, this is the neckline, right? We've got a neckline here. So the neckline low that we have, and we have 1, 2, 3 lows here, these two lows are actually higher than these two, so that means we're still trending up. This is a higher low, which is absolutely fine. This is still a bullish trend. The only time we end up being into a bearish trend is if we become lower than this low. So if we become lower than this low, then the trend just reversed. And for example, the shape would be, and if we did do it, let me just show you this. This is going to be how you're going to like this. Let's do this. Like, let's just draw this. Let's zoom into this and show you this. So imagine we did this, right? And this was our candle, just for the sake of it. And we ended up coming even below this line, just tad bit here. Well, what this does is then flips the whole thing and makes this kind of a trend line. Do you see what I mean? So when we have this trend line, it becomes a lower low. And when we have a lower low, we have a problem, right? So that means that basically the market is trending downwards. You see what I mean? You can clearly see this demonstrated here. That's exactly what this would do. So I'm just glad that we didn't create a lower low. We have a higher low compared to the previous neckline, and we're still holding there. So we're still in a bullish trend. That means anything could happen. Of course, are we 100% short? No, we're too close to the line, so we could easily dump down. But from technical point of stand, we are still in the bullish trend. You see what I mean? So we have to look at the technical patterns as much as the fundamentals. You know, the facts we know, liquidations, manipulation, XYZ, all the conspiracy you can throw at it. That's fine. It's absolutely fine. But when we're looking at the chart and we're looking at the facts in the chart is telling us we're still in a bullish trend, right? The trend line, and I'll activate this just to take the noise out. Look at this. We're still in a bullish trend, and we did not break that. You see what I mean? We did not break that. So ultimately, everything here is showing us that we're still bullish. We can't break this trend line, whatever happens, you know. So that's the case. Also, if you look at the indicator that I've got on, which is the golden cross predictor, is still on track. And why is it still on track? Because the fact is nothing has changed. The trend is still the same. Once this trend changes, then we might see a little bit of a problem. So still on track, still currently showing us from the 14th to the 16th, right? Mostly the 15th, I would say. 15th is predicting around the 15th. And I've always said to you, give it 2 days more, 2 days before, 2 days after. So that's the case. Let's see what that does. And I think we just did something. Where is it? Let's have a look at this. We are on BTC. Did this candle just become all... So did this candle just become bullish for us? Is this candle indicating bullish for us? Let's see. Anyway, we're going to see. We're going to have to wait and see on the daily close, guys. We're going to have to wait and see on the daily close. 4 hourly, no, not happy at all. Not happy at all. If you look carefully, you know, lower low, right? Nothing much. This is a consolidation area, you know, another lower low, and then we've managed to create a high and another high. This has become a little bit of a consolidation area. So when we have a situation like this, it's actually very, very unpredictable because we can either break out or break down. So I'll be observing this, and as I said, we need to observe these trend lines and make sure that we don't fall below. So let's see what happens ultimately. I think today's going to be a decider. Normally we are very bullish. If we are bullish, we're very bullish around Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. So I'm going to observe and see what that does, right? So let's go into some of your coins, guys. Let's see what we're talking about. Did we do ADA? Yes, we did ADA, right? So I talked about ADA. Yeah, we talked about ADA. ADA, still we're waiting for that target. So our target wasn't too bad. Our target was $3.34. Still going to wait for that target. I'm going to give it a chance. I'm not going to bother talking about the lows anymore because Cardano is going to follow the trend. So if the entire market is doing something, Cardano is also going to do it, right? So I'm not going to bother with that one. Right, XEC. So let's have a look at XEC, right? Where's XEC? XEC. I mean, XEC would have, without looking at it, I can tell you, XEC's probably had a massive, massive dump. I wouldn't be surprised if it has. Wow. Okay, this is pretty cool, right? Let's see if I have another one. Let me see if I can find another one. Nope, nothing much here. So this is the Coinbase one. So I think the Huobi one was the best one, right? So let's have a look at the Huobi one. Definitely the Huobi one was the best one, right, to look at. It's just following the market. You see, if you look carefully, from, you know, it has started dumping, and this was like the central exchange launch. So we had the Coinbase, sorry, not Coinbase, Binance launch, right? So this is kind of the Binance pump, and then we expect to dump anyway. I would say this is going to be insane what I'm about to say, right? XEC launched at a perfect time, and this is what I say a lot of the time. It's better to launch a coin during a dump than a pump. So XEC launched, you know, just before a dump, which is fantastic, because normally what you get is an exchange pump and then a massive dump, right? And we see this over and over again. but because they already launched during a dump, they really can't dump any further, right? And that makes it actually quite bullish, right? So ultimately, if this holds trend, right, and we'll go into a short time period just to go and see this, right? If this actually holds trend, we should be awesome. Do you know what I mean? Because we've got one trend here and we've got another one here, right? If this holds this local trends, right, we should be okay. Do you know what I mean? We can easily bounce off this and start going further up. And if we did, we can have, so if we just use this particular area here, yeah, I mean, we'll definitely be higher than the previous high. You know what I mean? Pretty much exactly on the dot. Wow, okay, this is pretty much on the dot, right? It's just a few cents or something, or a few zeros. But that's what's happening. So if you bought it, you're at a loss. The rule is don't sell, just hodl. That's the whole idea. Just hodl, because you don't want to get wrecked. You don't want to lose your money. Never ever say cut your losses and get out. Never do that. So SOVRYN. Let's have a look at Sovereign, right? Let me see what the ticker is, because I'm not personally into random projects. I do like my big ones. SOVRYN, Sovereign. Okay, SOV. Okay, we'll have a look at SOV. Let's see what this project is. So Sovereign at $9.42. So SOV. Let's have a look at SOV. Let's bring SOV here. Where is it? SOV. Okay, bro, it is on CoinMarketCap. Okay, so you did keep the rule. That's fine. But as you can see, it's on what do you call this? On the swap protocols, right? And this is not on an exchange yet. But then again, we do give it a chance. That's not an issue. So let's have a look at this. Sovereign, Uniswap, bad. Let's have a look at. That's bad. SOV. SOV. Let's try this. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we could see the launch, and then we could see a dump. So now let's look at some other data for this. Okay, max supply 100 million. Great. Circulating supply 0. Right, circulating supply 0. So, bro, you got to be really, really careful. Also, let's have a look on chain and see the data, see what's going on. So 4,387 transactions done already. Okay, awesome. Wow, these are micro transactions. These are micro transactions. Okay, so we haven't seen any whales come out yet. But yeah, we can see how many transfers there's been. And there's only 600 holders, so only 600 people on it currently. I wouldn't trust any of this stuff here right now. So, you know, the fully diluted market cap or anything, I wouldn't, because this is actually just showing it based on the number of transactions and what price it was selling. Because remember, on Uniswap, you can actually put your own price on it. So whatever this was, you know, we've got 600 holders. Great. You can see it's picking up momentum, but it is a new protocol. I'll be really, really cautious about it and see where it goes. But so far you can see 600 people with 4,000 transfers. You know, either they're buying a lot more, buying 3 times or 4 times, you know, just for the sake of it, or each person bought it 6 times or 7 times. That's a lot of transactions for 600 people. Do you know what I mean? There's just no balance there for something that is so new. So it didn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me, but it's okay. You know what I mean? It's okay. I mean, we can go deeper into this and actually see who the buyers are, if it's the same people or not. But that's going to take a lot of time because I've got 4,000 transactions to go through. Ultimately, I'm not going to bother with that. I'm just going to leave it there for you. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, right now, let's try and see if we can even find something. Because TradingView doesn't show anything. Yes, TradingView doesn't show anything. Or we can see this particular thing here. So let's have a look at what date this is. Yeah, so nothing. Let's do all. Let's do the entire history. Let's do the day when it launched, or when it came up here. So this project is about 3 months old. 3 months old project, and it was around 23 cents from what I can see. Okay, so 23 cents, and from $23, my bad, $23 during the launch. And then after that, it's just been dumping. And then if we go into the last, say, month, it's still dumping. So still dumping. Let's have a look at last week. Okay, there was some volatility, but still dumping. But if you look at the price, even the high that we had was about $10. So still 50% below the market right now, what it was launched at. So it launched 3 months ago. That's about it. Now let's have a look and see what it does. And permissionless smart contract based system for Bitcoin lending, borrowing, and margin trading. A DeFi platform for Bitcoiners. Okay, we'll check it out. No worries. There's a lot of these out there, guys. A lot of these out there. But what you have to do, and I'm just being honest with everybody here, you got to be very careful. The decentralized exchanges are awesome if you want to avoid taxes or whatnot, or you want to avoid centralized exchanges and control. But they do have the highest amount of risk because of a lot of rug pulls and this and that. Because ultimately, when you go to trade, leverage, or whatever, you got to give liquidity. And if somebody decides to pull the liquidity, or all of the liquidity, and they have majority holding, you're screwed. Do you know what I mean? So I've seen projects like this come and go. But yeah, we'll have a look and see what happens ultimately. Because everyone's creating DeFi projects. Also, I mean, if I wanted to really go into deeper, we can look at the contract and see exactly what it is. Okay, well, protocol looks pretty okay. Built on JavaScript mostly. Built in JavaScript mostly. Let's have a look and see. Because you can actually see if it's a copy of something. Okay, looks okay. Okay, I can see it's been rewritten. But yeah, I mean, end of the day, we can actually double check all of these things. Projects, let's have a look. So, Circle of Chaos. So, love the names. I mean, listen, I'm gonna wait for it. Again, it's not one of those unless it is. If you can find it on an IDO, that's a different story. So, for example, if we do find this, and I'm spending a lot of time on this one, just for the sake of it. So let's go into this. And let's have a look, right? Okay. All right. Okay. I won't go any further. I'll just leave it there because I can see what this is. This is built on the 0x protocol. This is the 0x SDK. I can see that already. So yeah, just the same as everything else. And this is built on Cosmos Network Atom, which you can do atomic swaps. So I can already see what it is. So yeah, I'll just leave it there. I won't bother talking too much about it. But yeah, I mean, awesome. All right. Yeah, I mean, this is just confusing. There's no point looking at this. Because where is Sovereign? Sovereign is going to be probably somewhere way down there. But it's okay. Listen, end of the day, as I said, we'll give it a chance later on. But we're going to observe and see what the market does. I'll wait for some breaking news and this and that coming out. If it's on an IDO, then yeah, of course. But it was launched on a... yes, I'll talk about okay, so I'm looking at your next message and I'm going to read that. Okay, so let's talk about this, right? So what you're saying, any idea on FET, right? FET, what was FET? Give me a second, let me just double check, because sometimes the tickers, there's so many hundreds of them. I believe it was Phantom. FET. Oh, you mean Fetch? Fetch, yes, okay. Fetch AI is a different story, right? So Fetch AI is definitely backed up by institutions. It's got a massive holding by Coinbase and everybody as well. So when you have institutions, right, actually holding this particular coin, then you know that it has some kind of other stuff in it. So when you're talking about, like, partner with Bosch or whatever, I mean, what's Bosch going to do? Drill with Fetch AI? No, of course not. Do you know what I mean? Because that's what Bosch makes. I'm being honest with you, right? Bosch makes machinery. So what does Bosch want to do with Fetch AI? And if they want to use it in their diagnostic tools or something for the cars and whatnot and this and that, why do they need Fetch AI for? Their algorithms are already quite good. What are you going to do? Sit on a Mercedes and ask for a BMW code? It doesn't make any sense. But ultimately, this is all part of the thing. Of course, if they're partnered or they're investors, that's a different story. We're glad Bosch is investing in crypto. We want to see these kind of projects coming in, and that's what it is. A lot of these institutions, they go in and they invest. So some people either buy stocks, or some people buy bonds, or some people just act as a VC and lend it out to them, buy it for cheap, and then do whatever. I used to hold quite a bit of Fetch. FET. That's why I kind of forgot, because a few days ago I did sell that. That was one of my holding that I got rid of. I didn't hold anymore after that. So again, it's one I let go. It's okay, because if the market tops out, I need to have as less coins as possible in order for me to exit as fast as I can. So that's that one, right? What's the other one you want to talk about? Audio. I mean, you're talking about Audius. Audius is a different story, right? And Fetch, by the way, also I wanted to just kind of show you, Fetch did pump recently. So Fetch, we had a massive pump very recently. I mean, yesterday, while the market was dumping, wow, okay, this is 1 hour. Let me show you. So yesterday, while the market was dumping, Fetch was pumping, and Fetch did this. Do you know what I mean? This is what Fetch did. But then immediately, as soon as this happened, you can see this dump just came in, right? So it didn't last that long, but this is exactly what it did. Fetch created an all-time new high, you know, yesterday while the market was dumping. You know, but for me it didn't make any difference because I exited somewhere around here, so the difference would have been very small anyway, so I'm not that fussed about that one. Talking about Audius, I've talked about Audius before, actually on a private group as well, so some of the viewers here, let me just try and get this on. Let me find the ticker because I forget the tickers. But yeah, Audius, I'm hoping you are talking about Audius, right? This is Audius. Audio, yeah, that's it, audio. Yeah, Audius is a coin that I've talked about before, and I've said, look, it's got potential. And it's got nothing to do with who is doing what with. Again, the partnership with TikTok is definitely awesome, right? And it's good. I mean, you have a like-minded company. So compared to, for example, when you had the, what was it, FET with Bosch, didn't make any sense, right? As an investor, fine, but doesn't make any sense. But now when you're talking about Audius with TikTok, absolutely makes complete sense, right? And yeah, I mean, if they can use TikTok as a platform to promote and sell some of their tokens, well, we can see a great future for this. Ultimately, here right now, you can see Audius. If you just look at the pattern, just look at this pattern, you can see Audius is following the BTC and the entire crypto market. Check sovereign on risk explore. Okay, I'll have a look. This one here, is this the one, Risk Explorer? Nope. Ah, you mean RSK, the risk protocol. On RSK, DeFi lending, Bitcoin for control. Okay, yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. So let's go to this. Let's have a look at this. Yeah, we don't want to talk about DeFi ports. I want to see RSK. Interesting. Okay, interesting. Check link where, bro? Because you can't send links here as far as I'm concerned. I don't think you can send links on the chat. I mean, you just don't put www dot, just put the end of the link and I'll check it. That's not a problem. But yeah, I mean, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about RSK, which is fine. That's the RSK platform, risk platform. We can actually go into this, and I believe it's this one here, not this one. Have you got the link? You know, you can, Druvit, you know I have a Discord. You can actually message it on Discord, bro. That's the reason why we got Discord, right? You can actually message it onto Discord, and I don't trade the news, bro. Okay, so we've had what's it called? Vision Tech saying something about me trading the news. I don't trade the news, bro. I don't trade any at all. I hold back. So I'm not sure if Vision Tech is here. I'm not sure who Vision Tech is. VisionNet.com HK, right? I'm not sure. But listen, if you've got the link, you can post it to Discord and I can check it straight away. That's not an issue. But other than that, there's not really much I could do because I can't track it down, right? So if I can track it down, I'll definitely talk about it. It's not an issue. But yeah, look, I'll have a deep explorers. Yeah, okay, fine. Let's try this again. So what you're saying is it's on explorers, right? Explorer, risk.co. There we go. Okay. Okay. And what is it you want me to see, bro? If you don't mind me asking. I can see they have, you know, the contract has 2 tokens, the sovereign token, which is fine. This is the contract. Not sure what this is. I can see how many SOV it has in there. It has 727 SOV in there, which is fine. Total supply is absolutely fine. Decimals are absolutely fine. It's an ERC standard, absolutely fine. Let me just check this. So that's the block, right? Okay, that's fine. I'm not bothered about that. So far, nobody's using the RBTC, so that's a problem. There's no point looking at this, right? You can see this is the actual contract address, so you can actually interact with the contract directly. But when we look at the Ethereum, we can see all of those. They're still there. So what do you want me to see? Do you know what I mean? What is it you want me to actually see? You know, because I'm quite confused, right? I'm not really sure what you want me to see, because I can see that there's 0 RBTC on this, so no one's even trading with this. So far, this is just a token. It's on Uniswap, it's on SushiSwap, it's fine. So are hundreds of other coins, right? Thousands of other coins, but no one's interacting with it, you know? And as I mentioned, 600 holders and 4,000 transactions. You got to really say to yourself, well, hold on, what's going on? If we had 600 holders and we had, say, for example, maybe 1,200 transactions, makes sense, right? But when you see multiples of that, then it becomes a little bit concerning, because you see approximately, I think it's about 7 or 8 times more, and you wonder to yourself, it's like, okay, are people buying more or are people not? What's going on? Because you had this thing at $23, it's been dumping, but you have 600 holders and you have 4,000 transactions. Did they top up? Great. And how many times do they top up? Do you know what I mean? Because you've got to be really extremely bullish to only pick up something else that just came out. Do you know what I mean? When you see 600 people with 4,000 transactions, you have to be convicted. You have to be like, this is it. This is the one that's going to make me $1 billion. You know what I mean? So is that the case? If that is, 19k accounts, is it? How do I see 19k accounts? Let's have a look. I can see internal transactions. So hold on, let's have a look at this. So the contract is utilizing itself. Internal transaction 44,000, 441,000 definitely. Tokens too. Tokens transfer. Let's have a look at tokens transfer. So what do we see here? So this is 4 months ago, so we can see 2 data here. 4 months ago to this address, 1 token. I'm not sure why. And then we can see this one here. We have 726 token. I believe it is. That was it, right? Accounts. Okay, I see what you mean. So there's accounts, 19,000 separate accounts. Awesome. Okay, I see what you mean, right? So this is what you're trying to tell me, right? Okay, fine. I mean, it's there. But what I'm wondering, right? Okay, understand where I'm coming from, bro. And don't get me wrong on this, right? Because listen, I don't hold it. First time I've seen it, and I'm just giving you my honest opinion, my kind of, pessimistic opinion here. Because remember, I'm a big skeptic. I didn't enter BTC for the first 5 years. I entered 5 years later. I didn't enter Ethereum until 4 years later. Can you imagine? That's how big of a skeptic I am. But when I totally understand something, when I totally believe in something, I don't care what price it is, I'll buy it because I know it's going to go to the moon. That's how I am, right? So when I'm looking at this, right, when I'm looking at this, right, and I'm seeing 19,000, that's fine. It's absolutely fine. I've got no issues with any of this stuff. I could give the benefit of the doubt and say, okay, we've got a problem. It probably just launched on CoinMarketCap, but the circulating supply hasn't been updated. Fine. I agree with all of that as well, right? I've got absolutely no issues with this as well. So I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt. But when I look into the contract, and this is the main contract, you cannot deny this. This is the main contract. I don't care what RSK shows me, this cannot be changed. This cannot be changed. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So whatever shows up on RSK is not a different blockchain. It's still built on Ethereum. So whatever data that we have on the blockchain, you cannot deny that blockchain data. I don't care about the coin market cap, as I said to you. I don't care what RSK shows to me, right? Ultimately, right, it doesn't matter about any of these transfers or, you know, accounts or anything like that. That's all fine by me. This data here cannot be changed. This is the blockchain. Do you see what I mean? So I'm going to go by where the contract was built on. Contract was not built on TRC20. So for me looking at ERC, you know, Ethereum and arguing, it doesn't work because it was built on Tron, for example. We know the RSC, right, or reserve coin, or sorry, the risk coin, or whatever it was, right? They actually utilize the ERC20 standard and an Ethereum smart contract layer 2 solution. So when we know that, everything has to go through Ethereum. So I hope this kind of makes sense with it, right? You know, for me as an investor, these are the kind of due diligence that I do. I'm not doubting the project. Of course, it could be awesome. It's built, looks good. Code, I'll have a look at the code. Everything looks good, right? I'm not denying that, right? But what I'm trying to say is, whether it has 600 holders or 19,000 accounts, either way, the maths doesn't make any sense. Do you know what I mean? Either way, I'm not doubting anything. I'm just saying I'm looking on chain. This is Etherscan. I mean, you can't deny this is Etherscan. If it's built on Ethereum, it has to be seen here. Do you know what I mean? I mean, we can even go into the contract and have a look at the contract right from here, right? And see exactly what the contract has, exactly what it does. You know, all of this data we can see here. Do you know what I mean? You can see all of this, like the first ever transact, whatever, the smart contract creation, right? You can see that 133 days ago, right? We had the first ever smart contract creation. We can see that. Do you see what I mean? So we need to be really, really observant on all of this stuff. You can see, you know, 82 days ago, for example, this is the, by the way, this is the last one, 100 million tokens was given there. However, look at this. Now, I want you to see this for yourself. 82 days ago, original ESOV token was 1 billion. And then from 1 billion, it was changed to 100 million. Can you see this? How the data changed? This is facts. You cannot change that fact. So we had a token that had a billion supply and then decided to take a zero off and make it into 100 million, which is absolutely fine, right? They did that, which gives it more value. I respect that. I've got no issues with that, right? But this is what the facts are. We can't change that, right? This is, you know, everything when you're looking at this, when you're doing some basic data, this is the fact. You can't change that, you know? So I hope you don't understand, you don't take this the wrong way, but I'm just being honest with you, right? Because when we do deep analysis on something, we sometimes take the most basic, because, you know, as human beings, again, we sometimes just neglect these, and we're all hyped and we're not calm about it. I'm like, okay, fine, let me have a look at this and let me weigh it. So I have 600, I have 4,300, and I have 19,000. So I have all these three numbers, but they don't balance out. So I've got a problem. What is the account created on? On the protocol? Fine. Is it a free account? Well, if it is, then do they really have to buy any coins? No. Okay. So we can see transfers. We can see that's how many transfers we had. Now, 19,000 people, accounts with 4,387 transfers. Somebody explain that to me. Do you see what I mean? Yeah. I hope kind of makes sense to you, bro, right? I'm not against you or anything, as I said, right? Look, I'm not against the coin or anything like this. I'll give it a chance, obviously. I'll observe it in the future, see what it does, what kind of, if it is part of the thing, if it becomes a legit thing for me, right? I'm not saying it's not legit, but it has to make sense. 19,000 coins has to have 19,000 transfers. Very simple. Very simple. 19,000 accounts has to have 19,000 transactions, in my opinion. Very simple. And then if it's more, then it's great. So we know they bought a little bit more. So yeah, that's what I'm going to leave that with you. Other than that, damn, Algo just pumped. Okay, so I had an alert for Algo to tell me when it hits my threshold, and I had a sell order set up, and Algo just smashed through that. So let's have a look at this, what Algo just did right now. Boom, Algo just did that. Look, Algo just hit the target again, right? This is just insane. So Algo, on one of my accounts, this was set up, by the way, long time ago. You can see Algo just basically just shot up. Last 1 hour, pumped up and just dealt with this. XCC, bro, how many times do you want XCC, man? You are a joker. Right, let's do XCC again. Yeah, XCC, we talked about it. Look, XCC is just kind of following the market. So let's wait for it. Let's see what XCC does. But ultimately, as I told you, look, when we had the launch and everything, I talked about it. So be patient with it. The trend line is still solid. If you look carefully, and I'll take these drawings off. Right, this trend line is still solid. You know what I mean? This trend line is still solid. So remember what I just said to you. I'm very bullish on BTC. Right, I'm very bullish on BTC. And the reason I'm very bullish on BTC is because of, where it is. If it falls below this blue line, right, or I'll change the color for you just to make sure you understand what this is. Look, this red line. If it falls below this red line, we're in trouble. But as long as we're above this trend line, the trend is your friend. The trend is your friend until the end. And ultimately, use this as an indicator. That's what I was saying. Use this as an indicator. If you look yesterday, right, look at the total market cap, what you'll find is, and let me see when it comes, we had the biggest drop here, right? Oh man, I love you, bro. Yeah, no, here, as you can see, we had close to, I believe it was like almost about 80 or 90 billion dollars wiped out. So on the global entire market cap, we had 80 or 90 billion dollars wiped out here. We had almost 50 billion dollars. So these are the ones that suffered the most, and everybody else had a few billion drop from there, or a few million or whatever. But ultimately, these are the leaders. These are the ones that suffered the most, and that's what you need to follow. When they suffer, everybody else are going to suffer. You might have that random algo or something, right, which does pump, but most of these coins will always follow what the market does. And so far the market is down, so absolutely not an issue. We do have to wait for it to come back if it is going to go up. Do you know what I mean? So let's see where it goes. That will be interesting to see. But yeah, other than that, I hope you guys found. Okay, so I've got a feeling. Okay, let me see. Yes, so I know who Snake Fingers is now. Hello, Snake Fingers. Welcome to the Discord server. Druvid, thank you very much, bro. So yeah, now you're here, so it's cool. I've got the link anyway, so I don't really have to. But I hope you understood. Honestly, Druvid, I hope you understood how we would sometimes have to just stay calm, take 2 steps back, and observe the market for what it is, rather than jumping into something and going all crazy. Do you know what I mean? So that's the whole idea. Never ever just jump into something just because it's showing something or it's doing something. Try and use some logic and be reasonable with it. There are projects out there, by the way, which are penny coins, right? Some of them not even pennies, which I have talked about myself. And I said, follow the money. And what I mean by money, I'm not talking about retail investors and this and that. I'm talking about institutions. I'm talking about Pantera Capital. I'm talking about Coinbase Custody. I'm talking about the big boys, Binance Custody, right? I'm talking about them. If they have bought that coin, I also want to buy that coin. Do you know what I mean? So if they bought a coin that they haven't launched on their own platform yet, I want to buy it. And what I mean by that, I'll show you a good example. This is Coinbase Custody. It's just a tab that's always here. I just don't show it to anybody. This is what they have custody of. This is what Coinbase has inside them. Right? Coinbase has Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, XRP, Solana, Polkadot, Uniswap, Chainlink, FTX, FTX. Coinbase has FTX. Do you understand what that means? They don't have Binance. They don't have any other cryptocurrency exchange, but they have FTX token. So what does that mean for us? Do you know what I mean? So we look at all of this. You can see what they have and what they don't, and the list is long. Coinbase has this. This is what Coinbase is custodying right now, right? Every one of these coins, you won't find half of them on Coinbase application, but they actually have this. Look at this Keeper DAO, Rook. They have this, right? They are holding this. So this is what I'm going to follow. If they are buying this stuff, I also want to buy this stuff. Do you know what I mean? Right? But then again, I'm going to be logical and reasonable to myself. And I'm going to say, well, market is hot right now. If the market is sitting at a hot location where anything could happen, do I buy right now? Is it wise for me? No. I'd rather wait for it. You know, wait for this whole market to completely finish. When the market finishes, then I'm going to buy it. Do you know what I mean? So you've always got to be calm about things, like, you know, and as I always say, if you miss something, you missed it. It doesn't matter, right? There's no point worrying about it, no point panicking about it. It doesn't matter. It's gone, it's gone. Let it go. You know what I mean? There's thousands of coins. Yesterday we had 11,600 coins. What do we have today? 11,754 coins. Another 100 more coins. Do you see what I mean? So the numbers are growing, and I did say to you guys, I said, look, within the next decade, we might even see 100,000 cryptocurrencies there. Do you know what I mean? So the choice is growing. It's like stock market. When they first started, how many stocks did they really have? Not many, right? Because it was all like the way the stock markets trade, the trading was actually done by the Japanese, right? And they only had a few stocks they used to trade with. And then look where it is now. It's a global trend. It's a global market where everybody goes in and trades everything, right? And you know, there are regulations and all sorts of other stuff behind it. But ultimately, there are hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of stocks you can buy, if not billions, right? And that's what it is, and that's how it grows and evolves. Here, at one point, we only had one. You know, I mean, this didn't even exist then, but I'm saying we only had one. And then look how we've been growing over time. Do you know what I mean? And many have come and many have fallen. So we just have to be calm and really find projects that actually, survive these kind of peaks, pumps and dumps. If they can survive it, and if they have good intention, right? They don't rug pull or anything. I mean, looking at what this is, as long as we can see on the code, there's no back end or anything like this. There's a lot of other stuff that you can check. Also, you know, we need to know that the founders have nothing, right? So if we know, for example, on this particular project, I can see you're very interested, right? On this project, if we can see that the founders have absolutely nothing on this project, I'm happy. You know what I mean? I'll be very, very happy. But you have to really, really be careful, right? There's 100 million coins, but originally there was 1 billion. So do the founders have 900 million coins sitting around there? You see what I mean, right? Do they have 900 million coins sitting somewhere in their wallet? You know, so we need to double check all of this. And this clearly is the person. They've clearly labeled their thing as Black Hole. So we can see from Black Hole. So let's have a look what Black Hole has in his wallet. How about this, right? Let's do something even better. So what does Black Hole hold? So we can see every coin Black Hole has. So this is how many X sushi he holds, okay, or out, right? So that left him. This is how many Hex coin he has. Great, he's made some money on Hex. All right, you can see every coin he holds. You can see whatever this thing was, adventure gold. So he has a lot of adventure gold. He loves his adventure gold. He has a lot of bone. Look at that. He's got a lot of bone. So this is clearly a whale, right? Brain bust. Clearly a whale. But we have a problem here. I don't know if you can see this. He doesn't have any of his coin. Is that a good thing? That's an absolute good thing in a sense, right? Because that means he doesn't hold any. You know, but did he send it away somewhere else, or what's he doing? Like, we can check all of this. Like, does he own any NFTs? Look, he has plenty of NFTs. So this is some sort of a whale, right? Who's been basically, okay. So this is, oh right, okay. So this is the Burn wallet. My bad. I'm looking at the wrong guy. Let me go back. Black Hole is the Burn wallet. My bad. So basically, they sent. Oh my days. Oh my days. This is crazy what I'm looking at, bro. I don't know what you just opened. You literally opened a Black Hole. So Black Hole is the Burn wallet. They've already burnt 5 billion tokens. So God knows how many tokens they had. And I haven't even gone to his thing yet. So let's have a look at this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the, so let's find the, because if he's done it with a fresh wallet, then I would have no idea, my brother. I would have absolutely no idea. So we know this is the creator. Let's go into the creator's wallet and see what he has. So 151 days ago, creator. So yeah, what he's done is quite interesting. Very interesting. Right. So he created it with a brand new fresh wallet. So I'm not going to go any further with this. I don't want to talk about this anymore. But what he did, he created a brand new wallet that does not link back to him. And then from that point onwards, it goes there. So yeah, guys, other than that, I'm not going to talk anymore. I think this was a very educational, if not. So yeah, let's see what it does. But now it's time for me to go and sell some algo. Ooh, look who's pumping today. Look who's decided to pump up today. So Luna's decided to make a move again. FTT is obviously slightly up. That's not much of an issue. Near's pumping again, so it's up now. So Near's pumping back again. Algo just hit the target because my target was 185. It actually hit the target, and I believe that the auto sell just did. And now I'm going to go back and just sell the rest of them. I'm going to sell half my chips basically and get rid of those. So super. Talking about TRX, look, TRX even done a 4.23% pump. So yeah, I mean, it's been awesome. Do you know what I haven't talked about? Solana. Ooh, okay, Solana took a dip, but holding strong, absolutely fine. Let's see what it does. We do know one fact, that Solana yesterday had a nice pump, and it does worry me when I see these two down similar percentage, and then I see Solana down as well. It does worry me a little bit. Obviously profit taking, let's see where that goes. But ultimately I'm still up. So from that gamble that I took where I wanted to hedge myself, I'm still up. Ethereum. Let's have a look at Ethereum. Sorry, I'm lagging a little bit here. Let's have a look at Ethereum. Same structure, market structure. I wouldn't really talk too much about it. Ultimately it's following BTC, so the entire market is reacting the same way, guys. Other than that, do you know what, guys, I'm not going to make this any longer. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I hope all your questions were answered. Like, share, subscribe, and if I didn't see your comment, because I realized sometimes I can't see the comments, I have no idea why, but if the comment wasn't seen, so apologize. Just catch me next time, and then I'll talk about it another time, then we go on from there. But yeah, it's one of those days today, you know. Let's see what happens. A good time to be in crypto, that's all I can say. And yeah, definitely it's going to be awesome. So other than that, guys, like, share, subscribe. I'll catch you on another one. And for the after show, if you want to talk to me or anything, if you have any questions or anything, I do come online on Discord, quite a few. So if you do come on Discord, we can talk. That's not an issue. But yeah, like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you on another one very soon. Adios, my amigos. I'll catch you tomorrow or something, or maybe not tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow I've got a few bits and bobs, so tomorrow I might not do a stream. If I do, I'll let you know, let everybody know on Discord anyway, if I am going live. If not, then adios, my amigos.